Okay, we're here for pie number one, the big P sound of the mama. Such a big pie that we're actually going to chop it into 3 pies this sort. Pie number one is the annual certified users of pot revenue, the A-cup revenue. $43,616,414,962.76. Now you know where I got it from. Divide that by 3, because there's 3 distinct pieces to this pie, and that leaves 14,393,416,937.71, rounding down. Now we're dividing that by 52 states. The reason it's 52 is it's the 50 states plus Washington, D.C., and then another sector for our protectorates. And, you know, this is trickle-up economics, so if our protectorates aren't doing business, the money's not actually trickling up there. But it's to give you an idea of how this should all go together. So that comes out to, per state, $276,796,479.57. And the word here is annual. Annual. Every year, this money trickles up to the state levels. At the state, divide it by 2, because 50% of it is allocated to the most local level, be it a local, a city, a town, you know, to the very local level if they're participating. So you got 138,398,239.79 annually trickling up at the local level before it gets to the next level, which is 30%, which is the county level. So, see, in this case, let's see here. You got LA and then LA County, I guess, is the way to look at it. So you got 83,038,943.87 for the counties to share. And that brings up a point that we'll get to here in a moment. And then the remaining 20% there goes, it actually lands at the state level. So every year, state should be getting a nice little quick windfall on just this one revenue generator of $55,359,295.91. So, of the pie number one, state share $276 million. You got 50%, $138 million going to the locals, the cities, the towns. Of that, 10% goes to police, which comes out to $13 million average, $13,839,000. 10% goes to all emergency services. This goes to first responders, fire is separate. Fire departments is in the 10%. Public hospitals, local public medical facilities. And then hiring people. Hiring kids at the summertime, 10% will go to the local parks departments, 15% will go to transportation, 15% will go to public works, including water districts, and then 5% will be trickling up to the local school, the local prosecutor, local advocate for the defense, and then the local magistrate for judicial administration. Now, this is just a theoretical over here, but let's say that there's 1,000 locals in a particular state. 1,000 of them. If that were the case, then the average local police department would get about 13 grand. So about enough to buy some paper clips and pens and pencils or something. Maybe start a program for kids or something. In the same sense, if there were 1,000 locals taking a bite out of this, you got about 20 grand going for transportation. Maybe some new auto parts or something like that to help keep them trucks on the road. Who knows what you guys would use it for? You know what you need. And then when you bring it way down for the education, prosecutors, advocate for the defense, $6,900. But $6,900 goes a long ways in some towns. I don't know what you would use it for, but it's just more pennies trickling up. And as you can see, I keep this spread out all over the place. So there's pennies trickling up from all over the place. So it's not like this is what you got to live on by any means. Okay, so we're still on pie number one here. Piece number two. Remember, there's 3 equal pieces, 33% a shot, at another $14 million. This one goes to federal agencies. Now, there's 388 federal agencies listed at the time I was typing out TAP. Every one of them got a piece of the pie. Some of it got it every year. Some of them only got it once every 5 years. There were 23 listed that got it once every 5 years. Those who got it every year were listed in green. They were highlighted in green, which I'll create a scroll for you later on, put it up on site, list the federal mama agencies for piece number 2. But right now, let's just get over the top of this. The other 23 agencies here that only got it once every 5 years, that means for the other 4 years in a row, each year, Congress would be getting $871 million plus in this case, because they're not getting it. In the meantime, for whatever reason, the Lord works in mysterious ways. Every time I did the charts, there was one missing. And what I did with it was, I asked our Lord, what in the world do I do with this one? So, although it only gets its money once every 5 years, what it's going to be done is that money will be split once every 5 years between the POP physician program, which we're not even close to yet, so we're getting there, and the Pat Tillman Memorial Scholarship Fund, which is also in the PAPA, which we'll be getting to here rather shortly. Pie number 3 here over here. This time there's 135 agencies listed. They're averaging a little over $106 million per year. And instead of relinquishing their money 4 out of every 5 years, instead they're going to relinquish it once every 5 years. So in pie number 2, Congress is getting it for 4 years, and then, or piece number 2, and then piece number 3 over here, the 1 year that Congress doesn't get it from piece number 2, they get it from piece number 3. And there'll be 70 agencies actually relinquishing that money to Congress minimum for $7.4 billion. So it's a nice spike in the arm for Congress. In the meantime, there was that sliver, that 1%. You know how it is. You got it in thirds. You got this 1% left over. $436 million annually will go to the MAGOG for the kids. The MAGOG is the main administration for the gifts of God. The main administration for the gifts of God. And they'll know how to use the money. It's for the kids.